Jack, just one of those horrible evenings on Tuesday where it didn't go to plan at all. And I guess particularly towards the end of the game when a couple of the late goals go in and suddenly it's 6-0, it's just a horrible moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one that obviously is really tough to take, especially in the situation. But football's football. It's a great game in the way it gives us another opportunity at the weekend to go and prove to people and put stuff right and make a better account of ourselves.
Gary, speaking afterwards, seemed to suggest that more of a safety first or back to basics type approach might be the route to go. And I guess in some respects it's inevitable, isn't it? After a 6-0, you have to question all of those things and almost pare it right down.
Yeah, we've got to go and look at the game because it will be a different game. And we've got to, like you say, might have to go back to some stuff from before and make sure that we go there and put on a good display and be hard to beat and go there and express ourselves again. Like, we can't be afraid of anything. We've got to go in it as a team and do everything we can to win.
As you say, it's the brilliant thing about football that, almost always there's another game and another opportunity. With Gary having come in, it is quite an unusual situation that you've been through all of this process to a degree with Neil and then you're doing it all again just a few weeks later. How much of a challenge is that?
Yeah, it's always a challenge. Different managers have different styles of play, different stuff you want to do in set pieces and stuff like that. So it's a lot of information to take on, and like I say, we've done it once already, and then to do it again. But everyone's bought into that really well, and we've worked really well with the manager, and hopefully that this starts to show a bit more over the next few games.
And it's getting that balance right in that he'll have things that he wants to do and a way that he wants to play. But of course, the top priority, and he mentioned this the day that he arrived, is to get the number of wins that you need to get across the line and doing whatever it takes really to get to that position.
Yeah, and he's doing everything he can to help us. But a lot of it does come from within us as a group and grouping together and showing people what we are actually capable of and what we've showed people so far this season at times. And hopefully we can build on that and finish the season really positively.
And of course, it has been a tough run, and it was particularly tough on Tuesday night. But as footballers, it's part of the game, isn't it, that you talk about that next match and getting in the right mental space and compartmentalising and putting what's gone before behind you. And I suppose in some respects it's easier said than done, but it's really important that it happens.
Yeah, and we're a really strong group. I've said it before, the experience we've got in the dressing room, which we've added this year, is going to really help us going forward from this point onwards. And it's all about being together and keeping the support of the fans, which has been excellent, especially over these last few weeks. Really looking to build on everything.
Yeah, it's the real benefit, isn't it, of having an experienced squad, and you've got a number of lads in there who are over 30, have been there and done it at the highest level, and you would hope in this kind of sticky situation that really comes to the fore.
Yeah, and they are great. Like, even me being quite young, they're great with me and all the other younger players, and that's really going to help us going forward.
With Reading in particular, there's clearly quite a lot of off-field noise with the club as a whole. We know it's a big game for Cambridge United. It's a big game for them as well. How much do you take that into account, that actually home matches might not be whilst the fans will be keen to get behind the team, with everything else that's going on, the atmosphere might be a bit of a strange one?
We can't really look into that too much. Obviously, you're going to hear about it and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's about what we do and how we approach our game plan, and that'll be the difference on the day, how well we do what we want to do.
Yeah, and you know full well they're level on points with you in the League One table. They will be feeling and thinking some of the things that you guys are. It's your classic 6-pointer, isn't it, for either side if you get the win. And we've got to that stage as well where each win is it's huge, isn't it, each win that you can get?
Yeah, each win's massive. And this one especially, like you say, with the situation the two teams are in. And we'll be going there, doing everything we can over today, which we have done, and tomorrow to be in the best possible place to go and get them 3 points.
And presumably a sense as well for the fans that travelled on Tuesday, as with you guys, a horrible experience really, but they'll have a massive part to play again on Saturday.
Yeah, they've been fantastic all year, home and away. We can only thank them for that and ask them to keep doing that and be right behind us for the rest of the games this season.
Brilliant, that's great for me.
Thanks.
Jack, can you talk about your relationship with Liam Bennett? You sort of both played, or since Gary's coming in anyway, both played on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
You linked really well for the goal against Northampton. Is that something you work on, you two? Do you enjoy playing sort of on the same side as him?
Yeah, definitely. Liam's a fantastic player, don't get me wrong, and I've known him from before as well, so I get on really well with him, and he's a great player to have behind me. And yeah, we do work on stuff in training and try and implement that on the pitch, and luckily last week that worked.
Is that the sort of thing, like I say, you work on constantly, and when it comes off, that must be a real buzz, really, when you can set up a goal like you did on Saturday?
Yeah, it's the best thing about football, when you've worked on something like sort of during the week and then it comes off for a goal or something at the weekend. That's something that's really nice about being a footballer.
I think when Harvey Nibbs and Sam Smith were here, I think you got on well with the pair of them. Do you exchange messages with them before a game like this?
Well, a little bit, but yeah, like I say, I'm really good friends with them, so it'd be nice to see them. But at the weekend, we're going to be against each other, so it'd be nice in that way.
Yeah, it's good for me.
Are you on here now?
Any on Zoom?
Hi, Jack. Just to ask a bit more about the Lincoln game. Obviously, not a good result at all. How poor a performance do you think that was from your side?
Yeah, we know it wasn't good enough. We sort of let each other down, let the manager down, let the fans down on Tuesday. But like I say, football's a game where stuff turns around really quickly, and Saturday's a massive opportunity for us as a group to go and repay everyone for Tuesday.
What was the mood in the dressing room like after a result like that?
As you can probably guess, very deflated. But it's a time in the season where we do need to sort of get over it as soon as we can. We need to group together, and like I say, we've got a great group for that, and we'll be prepping as much as we can for Saturday's game.
Are you confident of seeing a response from your side on Saturday?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've proven that ever since I've been at this club, we've bounced back from stuff like that. And you can only look at last year and being in a lot worse situation, and how the group got together then and produced some great results during that time. So I have no doubt that we'll be able to do that.
Obviously, the form's not been great either. 4 points from the last 9 games. How worried are you of the prospect of relegation this season?
We can't look at that. We can only look in front of us. That's the mindset to have. We're looking at people above us and getting to them, and that's how we'll play the rest of the season.
Just finally as well, obviously with Neil leaving and the instability that brought, how much of an impact do you think that has had on the squad and the subsequent form as well?
Not too sure much about whether he left really changed things at that time. We knew there were tough games coming up, whoever was in charge, and we approached them just as we would when Barry was here. We gave him everything as we would give any manager. So it was a tough run, and we're coming to the end now, and obviously we've got a lot of big games coming up that we're going to be prepping right for.